My colleague Gotti Schwartz, he's in Radio Island, North Carolina. It's literally 4 times as windy there. At one point, as I understand it, Gotti, you were experiencing roughly 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Is that still the case there?
Yeah, get that Kestrel ready because this is what's coming your way, Craig. 61 miles at Beaufort, which is right over there. You see that line of trees? That's Beaufort over there. Then we've got these docks over here that are just taking a pounding. You've got that dock flexing. We've seen these docks start to break apart again. This is a 60 mile an hour, maybe a little bit higher than 60 miles an hour, but we're expecting twice as high winds as this right now. You can imagine what that's going to be like. That's going to hit tonight, and it's also going to hit during the storm surge. So not only are we going to have these hurricane force winds that are twice as strong as they are right now, we're also going to have the ocean, the sea come up. We're expecting it to come up about 7 feet, 7.5 feet here, which is unprecedented for this area of North Carolina. The last time they had some really bad conditions like this was a hurricane in the 1950s. And during that hurricane, the storm surge got to about 6.94 feet high. This one is expected to be 7.5 feet. So there are going to be areas that see extreme flooding. There's going to be areas that see a lot of that storm surge sweep in. There are some businesses in town over here at Morehead City where they're talking about actually getting chainsaws and cutting open parts of the floors so that storm surge comes in and it doesn't rip apart some of those structures. But this is an area that is going to take a really bad pounding, and most of that is going to happen under the cover of darkness. So as bad as the situation is right now, the situation is going to get a lot worse. Craig?
All right, Gotti Schwartz there in Radio City. Gotti, do be careful, sir. Gotti alluding to that hurricane back in the 50s. That one is still very much the storm that all of them have been compared to here in North Carolina, Hurricane Hazel. MSNBC's Garrett Hake is also on duty for us. He is in New Bern, North Carolina, that town already fighting a battle with the Neuse River. Garrett, who's winning the battle right now?
Craig, right now I'd say the town's probably fought it to a draw, but this is what they have to compete against, the Neuse River here. This is a different scenario than on the coast here, where our storm surge here in New Bern is going to come from the river itself, not from the coast, and the town is nestled up against the river on 2 sides. And so what you have to deal with here is this storm surge that's going to come down the river as it rains and water comes down, the storm surge pushing back up. Every little bit of rain we get and every little bit that storm pushes closer will move more and more water here onto the street where I am, on Front Street, sort of the street where a lot of these historic homes come up against the water. A lot of these residents have already left. These are people who've lived here a long time. They know what they're up against. This home here is about 240 years old. We were here when the owner was boarding it up. He and his wife headed to Raleigh to ride this thing out. They are absolutely not playing around with this storm. Some words of warning from the owner of this house, Benjamin Bunn, who we interviewed a little while ago. Take a listen.
There's nothing we can do here. When winds get above 3 digits, the only thing you can do inside your house is dock. You can't do anything else. So
seems
why
like
stay?
So, Craig, we are seeing a lot of people here heed that evacuation warning. When the category of storm seemed to go down, when it looked like the track was going to go further south, some people said they were going to stay. There's one gas station in town. They said they were going to stop selling gas at 11. We saw a whole bunch of people get in line to get that last bit of gas and get out of here. We're watching this water now. All of this is with only about 45 minutes worth of rain so far. This will pick up dramatically when the next rain band hits, I think, Craig.
There are some who have said here in Wilmington that this city could end up getting roughly 6-7 months worth of rain in 3 days. Garrett Hake, Garrett, thank you. Dawn Allen has lived here in Wilmington her entire life, just about 3 miles away from where we stand right now. Dawn and her husband have 2 kids. You're not evacuating, as I understand it, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Why?
Well, mainly it's financial reasons. You know, people have offered us free places to stay, but it still takes gas money and food, water, everything else once you get there, and then the fear of not knowing when you can get back home.
I've heard that from a number of people, this idea that even if they were able to get out, that it might take 1, 2, if not longer, maybe even 3 weeks to get back in.
Yes, sir. That's exactly. We've seen it happen we had a hurricane two years ago, and it was not nearly this large of a system, and it took people a week and a half to get back home.
So you can't afford to get out. You're going to hunker down. What sort of precautions are you taking?
Well, we've got enough food and water to last at least a week and a half. We've taped up our windows and have all our devices charged. We have extra external battery packs and plenty of board games and cards for the kids to play.
Put some water in the bathtub.
Exactly. Water in the bathtub, plenty of water filled up in jugs all over the place.
And how are the kids doing? How are their spirits? Are they getting stir crazy yet?
No, not yet. They still have their electronics, so they're happy.
So they're fine as long as they can get on the iPad.
Exactly. As long as they have their electronics, they're happy. And I'm like, play with them as long as you can, because once the power goes out, that's it. You're done.
It's interesting because over the last few days, you've heard so many local officials, state officials, national officials say, get out, get out, get out. And you don't hear a lot of conversations being had about people who can't afford to get out.
Exactly, and that is a real thing. A lot. I know more people who are staying than people who are left. And, I'm not the only one who has financial reasons. I also have medical reasons I'm not leaving. It's a sad situation that so many are put in. To have to pick whether you leave or you stay and you risk everything, But we've been through storms before, and thankfully this has been downgraded. So, there's still definitely danger out there, but, we're going to ride it out.
Be careful, okay?
Thank you.
All right, stay close, stay in touch. Let us know if you need anything. Dawn, thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.